What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 random Terra AI only game. I've gone a few turns, it was only 2 or 3, and then Poland invaded Siam, so we're ready. There's something big happening. You can see a big power drop invasion already. It's going to be an exciting one. We'll see how this goes, and obviously the other civs will still be doing their thing in the background as we focus on this. Rome, Mongolia and Egypt, the other big three. We'll see. Obviously Egypt may be tempted to get involved in this, depending on how it's going for Poland. So we'll keep an eye on it, although Egypt themselves are still pretty invested in the south, and they are kind of behind on tech. They can't really compete with the other four, head to head right now. Just looking at it, they are, this is really outdated now, all these units. So they are in a bit of a worse position, so maybe not, but we'll see. Poland makes their move, Siam will respond as well. We'll see how they get on. But it looks like it's just a lot of power dropping in, and oof, look at that, there was a lot of damage there on that front line. And some planes moved in for Siam, which could be useful in defending themselves. This city, yeah, you've drawn the short straw, people. If you live here, that wasn't a good move. They didn't really give you much hope. But everyone else, it's a good move. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see. Poland going for the capital. Not with much success, but they're also pushing in over here. They've got all kinds of units coming in, pouring in. International games. It's always a good time to host the Olympics in a time of 2 of the 5 biggest countries in the world being at war, and the smallest, one of the smallest too as well. And then the other one's just sort of an isolated state in the corner. That's a great time to host the international games. Really bring out the unity. Mongolia's turn. Going on in the background. It seems like it's going a bit slow. I don't know if it's because it's cold in my room. I don't know. It might affect the computer. It makes weirder noises when it's cold, so you never know. Or because it's just a lot of units at this point all over the map. Beginning to slow it down. Mouse just goes, it keeps going weird. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't like move how I'm moving it sometimes. This city also taken a bit of damage, and it's got 3 nukes in it, so they might want to consider moving those in the coming turns. They probably will this turn. You'd hope for Poland, if you're rooting for Poland. Siam would love them not to move them so that they could get rid of those and reduce the threat for the first sort of few turns. They did move them away back to this city. I'm just going to move the microphone backwards a little bit. There we go. Sorry if it made a noise. Don't want to be sort of shouting, or not shouting, but it goes really loud, doesn't it, and horrible. Normally when I do the intro, and then it gets better because I talk quietly for the rest, so got to work on that. Problem is you can't really tell till the episode's done, and then it's too late. Poland kind of slowed this invasion. It looks like Siam's going to be fine, which kind of sucks. Not that I was rooting for Poland, but we need something to happen in this game. It's really slowed down since the fall of Ethiopia. Nothing's really happened of significance. A couple of China cities went like last episode, but everyone's just stacking units, which also just makes it really hard to run. I mean, look at Mongolia, they're just full of units right now. So yeah, ideally we see enough in this war that it encourages other civs to take some action as well. But this is very weird. They didn't attack with half these units, so that, maybe they did, but it didn't look like it. They didn't drop in health. That's quite. Oh no, they haven't been yet. Sorry, it was Siam who moved. We'll see what happens then. Like, this unit needs to get out of here, and he's probably not going to be able to. This poor guy. They have so much better stuff at home as well. Like the rocket artillery, you could do that over here. Oh well. They're pushing in, but no siege weapons really present. They're not going to do anything against 138 defense until they are. Certainly not 160. So yeah, at the moment this is a complete botch from Poland. They are in trouble because, yeah, they've just got nothing to break down these walls. They're going to struggle. Siam should get this city as well, so Siam could be winning after a few turns, technically. Because yet there's no way you're getting this with just infantry. It's not happening. So they need to get something in. They have no planes in the area. They have nothing. This is a disaster. They've done well to get this many units through this small gap so quick, but at the same time, just having one artillery or two isn't going to cut it, I'm afraid. Which sucks. I just want to see these two. I mean, it'll probably crash the game at this point because there's a lot here, but I hope not. But it's got to happen, surely. Surely they're going to go after each other. We're going to get a nice Rome-Mongolia war. That would be quite a brutal one, with all that artillery firing away. Yeah, this city is definitely going to go. I think that's pretty... I can see that happening. Next few turns, that will be done. That will be a missile cruiser down the drain and an artillery that they won't get back. This submarine can at least have some target practice picking off these land units that have foolishly entered the water. Already 39% of the international game's done. And Siam defending well, putting on a show here. Neither of their cities have come under any damage yet, and there's minimal units here to defend. I mean, there's not like any more than any of the other cities. There's a few artilleries around, some planes, and that air force must be doing a really good job because Poland doesn't have that, so the air support probably coming in handy. But well, they do. They have nukes. I don't know why they don't have planes. That's beyond me. They don't even have like any battleships, so it must just be like very unlucky. But I can't see how they can't have oil. We also have more settling going on in the northern part of the new continent. Poland, Mongolia, Siam, all starting to take chunks, and it's starting to fill up. This was probably, I don't know if it ever will. There's just no units here. I was gonna say if it will come important in the game, it will add science and production and money and stuff, but I don't think it will ever impact. There won't be wars fought out there, is what I'm trying to say, or big ones. Mongolia can obviously afford to send some units over there, but probably won't happen. And there it is. Kiel Sea has fallen to Siam, and now they can literally just send all those units. They're pretty much probably freed up now to come over this side. This city's under siege as well. Yeah, Siam just have the aerial dominance, and Poland can't do anything about it. This looks like a miscalculation of a miscalculated invasion. They've just added another 3 planes here as well. They are just strong, and they still have the... No, Siam don't have them, sorry. I was going to say they still have the nukes. Poland still have the nukes somewhere. Tucked away, I would imagine. Yep, one there. I don't know where the other 2 went. Are they up here? Oh yeah, they're up there. So they have a couple of planes and 3 nukes, and... I mean, they're not in a position to use the nukes effectively because they've already sort of pushed in to surround the cities. They would be sacrificing their own units should they go for that, which probably not ideal. Probably don't want to be doing that. Poland's turn again. Anything gonna happen? Probably not. This is fun. They're pretty close in score, to be fair. I mean, Mongolia's got a bit of a lead, but the other 3, Poland's a bit ahead, but then these 3 in particular, very, very close. I mean, there's only 15 points between Rome and Siam. China and Ethiopia, though, are not even that far off, so I'm not sure. Score is obviously, for that reason, not a very good one to use. I think it's heavily religion-based, hence Ethiopia still being essentially 70% as good as... was that Egypt? No, Egypt was a bit ahead of Siam and Rome. And that's just not the case, is it? Poland actually wins the international games. I'm surprised by that. They're in a war. Maybe now they will churn out the units they need to start winning this war, but they'll get the tourism boost of 100% for 20 turns and another 3 social policy. They'll get happiness. They will get influence with the city-states and then some more happiness. Egypt, Mongolia, Rome and Siam, the other big 5, will all get the happiness, 6 happiness and the boost with all the city-states. China and Ethiopia sadly don't even get a bronze. That's kind of sad. They tried their best. Oh, Poland finally lay a scratch on this city. A tiny one. But they have finally got in there and done like the tiniest bit of damage. And this city, they've just bombed it to the ground. I don't know how, but they're just obviously, or why, but they're just consistently bombing it and not really doing much to it. But the fighting pretty intense. It's kind of cool, but at the same time we do want to see some, you know, cities probably dropping. But I guess it's cool to see we're just so used to like seeing civs get, you know, I don't know. For the story, it's better if there's a winner, right? If they just fight with a load of units and then peace out, it doesn't really feel that great. You gonna do something, guys? You fancy moving? I guess if you know you're gonna win, like there's not as much incentive. You don't really have to do much. But then again, do they know that? I mean, it's cultural and domination only. I don't know if anyone's. I don't think they're culturally strong enough to do that. So, and they're not exactly gone the domination route. I think they only have Amsterdam. They don't have any other capitals. They didn't get Ethiopia's. So we'll see how it goes. Egypt is still trying against China, and they have sort of cleared this area. So maybe there's a chance they'll sneak in. Rome is just trading. They're just like, yeah, just unload it. Don't worry about the planes dropping those bombs. We're fine. The Roman people are like, what? How did we draw the short straw? China with another city here towards Mongolia. We'll see if these two get on in the long run. Maybe China will survive, become Mongolia's friend. But Egypt continues to watch. I mean, I guess they're not watching. They are busy doing their own thing. But Rome and Mongolia certainly just sitting aside, letting Poland and Siam fight this one out. They're obviously continuing to bomb these cities, but they may as well. I mean, you don't have to hit them all with everything every turn. You could always start weakening all of them. I mean, it does look like there's more of a wave of units now along the whole front, though. So maybe they're using them against units too. So that would be why. Not focusing on more cities. But yeah, they have some good defensive weapons. They should be fine for now. They just need to hold up here till they can get a peace deal, I think, and that will be. Then they would have put in a fantastic effort. But they just keep encroaching. They just keep coming. More and more units flowing through. Oh, there's some peace deals. Siam and China, China and Ethiopia as well. So that's the end of that. China did not have to give anything away to get that deal. So Beijing remains still the same. China in general. I can't believe they didn't get this. I get there's a limit, so they never will. But that is funny. That's so brutal. That was the one good thing, probably. I know they've done very well out of this, particularly in Beijing. Maybe not the rest of the tundra, but particularly Beijing. They've done quite well. But this is just such a troll, isn't it? This coastal city as well. Why did you not? I mean, I guess you could have only built submarines, but it would have been more useful here. I guess they can probably still build submarines here and ship them out. That would be actually a really good like submarine base if you were ever in like a close game. I say that. I mean, it would be good in all of them, but it just, you know, if you're doing really well, it doesn't really matter where you're building submarines. So, but yeah, if you're like in a really tight spot, this could be useful. That is the problem with Civ. At least in my experience, you're either just doing so well, you know, that it's kind of just waiting for the inevitable, or you're doing so bad that you're waiting for the inevitable. Struggle to get the balance right in the Let's Plays. I'm either waiting to be killed or waiting just to take everyone out fairly easily. It's hard, particularly TSL games. There never seems to be much balance. As this continues, yeah, it certainly looks like there is more Polish units now flowing in to Siam, and that might make it that little bit tougher. They seem to be taking more ground. But again, it is easier to defend to some extent, obviously if you're not completely overwhelmed, but if you have a good enough number, I don't know what ratio I'd say, but like if you have 75% and you're defending, you can probably make that work in your favour. I don't know what the numbers are here. Haven't really looked since we did the graphs last time, didn't we? I've already forgot most of that. Yeah, Siam have had no, despite having those two cities down to very low health, they've had no interest in sort of pushing in, trying to take them. They're very much focused on defending their northern part, which makes sense. They're four biggest cities, or four kind of best. I know Paris, or yeah, some of these will fit into that bracket as well. Paris, Nakhon Chum, and Orléans would all fit in there, but these four are certainly like the original four biggest, even the other ones. So they obviously want to protect this. It's a little bit more valuable than grabbing some territory down here, which I'm sure they would if they could, or had the free resources to do so. Now there is 10 planes in each of these cities. It is going to be, that must be coming in so useful. I don't know though, because there's a lot of mobile SAMs around, so you have to be very careful when using them, but still that must be helping their effort, just having that when Poland's got essentially, I think they have 2 fighters, and then obviously they have nukes that they've chosen not to use, but 2 fighters up against what is like 12 planes here. I can see another 2 further south. Just a lot of planes. Oh, Prague is in a war. Is this Prague? Yeah, okay, well Mongolia should take them out pretty quickly then. Very different situation to Siam. This is about half the city defense of Siam cities, so yeah, look at that, 1 turn. And then there will be no city-states left on the original continent. They managed to get rid of them all. The new continent's faring a little bit better for the city-states. Egypt, well, I know Egypt's still with China, but Rome and Mongolia remain, apart from this, unactive. Not invested in a war with Poland at all yet. Poland still just has so much in reserve that they could throw at this. I guess it's just a question of space. Siam, I think, are really benefiting from not having any coastal cities. That's on the inner part of the ring of the lake, because Poland is the dominant civ in that part of the map, and if they had a couple of coastal cities here, Poland could have easily walked in and then maybe pushed on. I say maybe because they already had this, which would have been the same effect. I mean, they obviously forced their units through this here, but they could have filled this area out a bit more. I mean, look, they have plenty behind. That could have all been in here, and then you could have, you know, really pressured Siam. Siam's not been pressured down here. They've used their planes to hit the cities. They've killed the few units that have wandered forward, but they've not been stretched. They haven't had to really defend it super hard, and if they had have been, that would have driven units down from the south, and that's just not been the case. Alright, Rome's turn. Unfolding. Processing turn for Mongolia. Don't think we're going to get anything, are we? Mongolia, they are going to take Prague, so we'll go watch that. Sorry, Prague. Not trying to rub it in. But it takes like 30 seconds for this to happen, so we may as well sit here and wait. It also probably takes longer the longer we sit here. That's usually the way that AI likes to work, to operate. If I'm not looking, their turn will fly by and I'll miss it, and if I am looking, it will just never happen. But there it is, Prague falling to Mongolia. That's the last city-state removed from here. I don't know, probably someone might have been trading with them, but someone may have been allied to them, but no one tried to defend them. How have you not got this yet, Egypt? Like, just build a boat. It's not hard. Just build one boat. One ironclad or whatever it is you're up to now. Destroyer. Like, it would do the job. Just get it in. You could literally put it, like, here, and it could still take it in the same turn. Like, I guess China could get it back again, so it's a bit of a risk, but just go for it. Let's stop holding back. Poland completes the Pentagon and Great Firewall in the same turn, which is interesting because Mongolia would have been sort of the expected civ to get, particularly the Great Firewall. But there we go. Poland just became an impenetrable fortress from a espionage perspective of both of those wonders. I think they both help in that regard, right? Is it the Pentagon? I think it is. They both stop enemy spies being so good, right? To get them both at the same time is a bit weird. They probably went for the Great Firewall and then just happened to see that the Pentagon was still available too and ended up with both. But But yeah, that makes Poland very difficult to spy on. I don't know if they're ahead in tech. I think they'd caught up, hadn't they? They were a few behind Mongolia, and then they caught up because Mongolia was falling behind. Here we go, embargo on China. Egypt really wants some help to complete this war. But Siam with nuclear non-proliferation. I can understand why you want that, Siam, because Poland obviously has some. They haven't used them, but it also suggests Siam probably has a lack of uranium. But we'll see if the rest of the civs agree. I wouldn't say that's impossible, just because how the votes are divided out, right? Siam has the most by a long shot. If Egypt, Egypt and Siam between them can kind of override the others, because the others have 26 and they have 28. So if Egypt's on their side, they have a good choice. And even then, Ethiopia and China can have 8 votes going one way. Actually, the others don't have 26 because I have 4 and I'm not going to vote, so they have 22. Oh no, sorry, 4, 8, 16, 20. Yeah, 22. So yeah, I mean, if like Egypt and Siam, even if Siam and Poland, no, because then Egypt goes the other way. And it also depends who votes on embargo China. So there's a chance Siam could get this done. But that will be it for this episode. So as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.